Hi boys and girls, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. Today we're going to be making origami together. I have two things to show you. I think we may have made the puppy dog before in art class, but we're going to make it again together just as a review and sort of a warm-up to our second origami form, which is going to be a bunny rabbit. So let me show you what they look like. This is the puppy and this is the bunny. So I'm going to show you how to make these step by step. So why don't you come on in a little bit closer. So what you'll need is a piece of paper. This is regular printer size paper. If you don't have this size, you can always use a piece of mail or an old homework paper. I'm recycling, so both of these papers have something on the back. When you do origami, you usually start with a square piece. So I'm going to show you how to make a rectangle into a square. If you have a pair of scissors, these are grown-up scissors, but hopefully you have a small pair of scissors, and you should have a grown-up with you if you're using scissors so that they can supervise you. If you don't have scissors, that's okay. I'm going to show you a way that you can do it without scissors. So you'll need paper, scissors, and then something to draw the face with. Now I just used two colors on the bunny rabbit, just pink for the nose and black for the rest of the details. But if you only have one color, that's okay too. I try to do projects with things that you have around the house. So if you don't have all these things, I try to give you different ways to do it. So let's go ahead and start with the puppy dog. So I'm going to show you how to turn a rectangular piece of paper into a square, and you might need a grown-up to help you with this part. I'm going to take my paper and put it in front of me, portrait orientation, and we've talked about that at school. That's the way you place your paper so it's long ways up and down like the Mona Lisa. I'm going to take the bottom corner and bring it over here to the side. And I'm lining it up along the edge. When you're doing origami, you want to try to be really accurate. Accurate is a fancy word for neat. So this is practice, folding neatly. Once I have it lined up, I'm going to crease it. Now this extra piece here at the top, this skinny rectangle, we don't need that anymore. Once that's gone, and we open up this triangle, we're going to have a perfect square. So I have to get rid of this extra piece here. Now if you don't have scissors, what you would do is you would fold that down over the triangle and crease it really well with your fingernails. Even if you don't have long fingernails, that's okay. You have a little teeny fingernail there. And I usually fold it back the other way when I'm tearing something. So I'm going over that fold and creasing it really well. So if you don't have scissors, this is what you would do. You would just carefully tear, and you can have a grown-up help you with this part. You would carefully tear that off. And that scrap, you can put that off to the side. You don't need that anymore. This is what you made last week. First grade did it too. That's what it says first grade on there. So I don't want this part showing on my dog. So if you're using a piece of mail or an old piece of homework paper, you want that part to be hidden. So I'm going to fold it so that that's on the inside. So I'm going to fold that triangle again so that the words and the pictures are hidden on the inside. So here's my triangle. I'm going to place it down in front of me and turn it so that the point is pointing towards me. This point here is the dog's chin, the puppy's chin, and you can see here that I have it folded back. So we're gonna tuck that under. We're gonna fold it backwards. So you can either pick it up like this and fold it backwards, or you can turn your paper over, fold a little bit of it up, crease it well, and then flip it back over to the front. So now we have his little chin. And I'm making a bigger puppy dog. It's going to be a little bit bigger than this example. Next, I'm going to form the ears. The ears are symmetrical. That means they look exactly the same on the left side and the right side. If I folded this, they would match up. That's called a mirror image. So I'm going to start with the left side. I'm going to pick up the corner and I'm going to fold this down so that the point hangs over the edge of the face. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to crease it. Now, the first one's pretty easy. The second one is the one you have to kind of take your time and compare it to the first one that you did to make sure it looks symmetrical. Now, if I have it all the way down here, that doesn't quite look symmetrical. If I have it just a little bit folded like this, that doesn't look symmetrical. I have to just judge how far I have to fold it to make it look the same. So I might have to move it around a little bit before I push down and flatten it and make the crease. So before I crease it, I'm going to look back and forth to make sure they look symmetrical. And when I think I have it in the right place, I'm going to hold it tightly and then go ahead and crease it. So there's my puppy dog's face. Now I'm going to add the details. So you can decorate him or her however you'd like. I have spots on the ears. I have eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So let me show you how I drew those things. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the spots, but what I did was I made it look like one of the spots was wrapped around the back side of the ear, so I only drew part of it. And you can put as many spots as you want. The eyes are circles, so I drew a circle shape. And then if you notice, I have white spots inside of the circles. Those are the highlights. That's where the light is reflecting. Anytime you have an object that's shiny, the light will make it reflect. It'll have a little white spot. That happens when you're looking at water or something metal or something that has a shiny surface. Like your eye has tears on it, so it always has a highlight. If you look at someone in your house, you'll see that little white spot on their eye. So what I usually do is I draw a circle inside there. I'm going to draw a big circle and then I'm going to draw a little circle. And I'm going to do that in both eyes in the same spot. So a big circle and a little circle. And then I'm going to fill in everything around those shapes. Your puppy dog doesn't have to look like mine. This is your creation. You can make it however you'd like. Use your imagination. Maybe you have an idea in your head. Maybe you have a puppy dog and you want to make it look like yours. And there are the eyes. So let's go ahead and make the nose next. The nose is like a letter V, sort of like the beak on the owl, if you made the owl last week. And then we're going to close it on the top. Sometimes I like to make these corners a little bit rounded instead of really pointy. That makes it look a little more natural. And I have a highlight on the nose too. Sometimes dogs' noses are shiny. So you can put that either on the right side or the left side. I'm going to draw a little oval there. And then I'm going to fill in everything around that oval. And then I'm going to make a little mouth. We made a kitty cat in school and then we painted it with watercolors. Do you remember that? And we made the mouth and it looked like a letter J. and then we made a backwards letter J. And then you can add whatever other details you'd like. If you want to put whiskers on him or her, or eyebrows, you can go ahead and continue adding details to that later. So I'm going to put that one off to the side, and then we're going to work on our bunny rabbit, because it is springtime. Have you seen any bunny rabbits hopping around lately? The weather's been really nice recently. I'm going to change this into a square. I've seen a lot of birds out too, and deer, as a matter of fact. So I'm just going to cut this one instead of tearing it. So you already know how to do it without scissors. This is how you would do it with scissors. Just cut that extra strip off, put it off to the side. The bunny is pretty simple. Just a little bit more detailed than the puppy dog. I'm going to show you what the back side looks like. It just has a couple more steps than the puppy dog. So basically the same beginning. Start with a square. You fold it in half to make a triangle shape. Then I'm going to turn it so that the point is pointing towards me. Now, if I'm ever going too quickly, you can always pause the video. If you need to take a break, you can pause it and come back later. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this again in a minute, because we are going to start with the point towards us, but then we have to turn it to make the ears. So we'll tuck the chin under, just like we did with the puppy. You can either do that with two hands this way, but I find it easier if you turn it upside down and use two hands like this. And while we have it upside down, what we're going to do is we're going to spin it so that that little triangle is at the top, and this long edge is now close to us. And this is where we're going to start making the ears. We're going to fold this bottom edge up about, I'd say about an inch. I know it's hard to judge how wide an inch is, but I would say if you used your thumb, it should be wider than your thumb is. It's about how wide we're going to make the ears. So I have to use two hands. This is kind of a tricky part. You have to use two hands and fold that up. So it was here. Now we're going to fold it up like this. And I'm going to crease that really well. Like I said, it's important that you crease well when you're doing origami. So I'm going over that with my fingers and I'm pressing down really hard. The next thing that's going to help me form the ears is folding this whole form in half. So I'm going to take that. Almost looks like a hat, doesn't it? I'm going to take that and I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to open it back up. And what I'll do is I'll take this bottom point and I'm going to put it up here so that it pokes up for an ear. So these are the ears that stick up. Do you see how that's formed? So these form the ears. Let me undo it so you can see. So this is going to go up here. So I'm going to take this. I'm using this center line as my guide. I have to use two hands. This bottom edge is going to go right on the line. This is called the line of symmetry. That's a fancy word. That just means right in the middle of that form. It's right in half. So I'm going to use two hands and I'm going to fold the ears up. And I'm lining this edge up right on that line of symmetry. I'm also lining it up right here on this edge, the side of the rabbit's head. Before I press it down, I'm going to look to see if I have that lined up. And once I do, I'm going to hold it in place. Sometimes you have to get your finger in here in this little pocket, smooth it out. Once I have that all smooth, then I can go ahead and crease it. I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. Now it's easy because I have this edge already made. I'm going to fold the other ear up. Now look, I have that up a little bit too high. See how that's higher up in this corner? So I'm going to try to scooch that back down a little bit. And even though I have a little space here, I'm not worried too much about that because rabbits have space between their ears. Now I think originally I told you that that little part that I folded was the chin, but actually that's the top of the head. Watch, when I fold it over. Huh, how about that? I got mixed up a little bit. That's the top of the head, and now this is the chin. So now we're gonna fold that part backwards. So it's easier if I flip it back over. This is really thick. You might need a grown-up to help you with this part. I'm gonna fold that chin back. I really have to press on that because that's a lot of paper. So there's my bunny rabbit. Now I'm ready to decorate. Now you can see on this example the ears are wide, and on this example the ears are skinny, and that's okay. Every bunny's different. Haha, get it? Every bunny's different. All right. Now I'm gonna make a pink nose, but if you don't have a pink crayon or a pink marker, that's okay. The nose is similar to the puppy dog's nose. You can make it different. You can make an oval if you want to. It doesn't have to be like the puppy dog's nose. I'm gonna make it similar to the puppy dog, just like that. The eyes, I'm gonna make them a little bit smaller this time. But I'm gonna do that same technique where I make two little circles. Sometimes it's hard when the eyes are smaller to make those highlights in the eyes, but that's what really makes the eyes come to life. Gives them that little sparkle and makes them look a little more realistic. So if you can't get two in there, I would at least try to get at least one highlight. You can't make two little circles, at least try to get one little circle in there. And then I think I'll just give him or her a little smile. And then a couple of whiskers, and there you have a cute little bunny. So we have a bunny and a puppy dog today. I hope you had fun doing origami with me. I will hopefully see you very, very soon. I will be back in a few days to do another art lesson with you. Bye, boys and girls.